what we are going to do in this lesson is we will try to solve the roots of the quadratic equation by the use of factoring when the coefficient a is greater than 1. So what does it mean when we say a is greater than 1? So let us recall the standard form of the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The value of our a here is greater than 1. So to start, let us first recall our knowledge in our previous session. If you notice, in our previous session, we used the diamond method immediately because the coefficient of our p squared is 1. So the problem is, what if the coefficient of p squared is greater than 1? For example, 5p squared minus 18p plus 9 is equal to 0. Now if you notice, the coefficient of p squared is 5, and that is greater than 1. So how are we going to solve this? We will still make use of factoring, but this time I will be presenting to you the two methods, the diamond method and the box method. For us to understand the two methods, let us consider an example. 5p squared minus 18p plus 9 equals 0, and we are asked to find the roots of this quadratic equation. Now, if you can still recall the standard form of quadratic equation, if you notice 5, negative 18, and 9 are the values of a, b, and c. Now, what is the purpose why I recall your knowledge with regards to the values of a, b, and c in standard quadratic equation? Because we will use them to our method, which is the diamond and the box method. Now, what will we do with this diamond and box method? Just the same in our previous session, this coefficient of the middle term, which is negative 18, or the value of p, is actually written in the top of our diamond. Now next, in our previous session, what we did is just we write the constant in the bottom part of our diamond. But this time, what we are going to do is we will multiply the coefficient or the value of a and c, which is 9. Okay? So 5 times 9 is of course 45. Now we are now ready to look for the two factors or two numbers that the product and the sum is 45 and the sum is negative 18. Now, the two factors are negative 15 and negative 3. Now, if you notice, those two numbers, negative 15 and negative 3, is written immediately in our box. Then we add the variable that was used in the equation, which is p. So negative 15, that is now written as negative 15p. Negative 3 is actually negative 3p. So after this, we just have to write what is left in the quadratic equation, which is 5p squared and 9. So after this, the next step that you're going to do, if you are going to look at or analyze 5p squared, we can factor this one as p times 5p. 5p times p is of course 5p squared. After that, we divide negative 3p by p. That gives us negative 3. After that, we will divide negative 15p by 5p. And that is negative 3. So after this, we will now know our factors 5p minus 3 and p minus 3. So to solve for our roots of the quadratic equation as given, we just have to copy the factors and write it here that 5p minus 3, p minus 3 is equal to 0. So meaning to say these two factors here are the factors of the given quadratic equation. Equating the two factors to zero and simplifying them further, we have p is equal to negative 3 over 5. And in the other side, p minus 3 is p is equal to 3. Therefore, the roots of the given quadratic equation is negative 3 over 5 and 3. You can check actually your accuracy by substituting either of the two roots here to our given quadratic equation. Another example, 2m squared minus 5m minus 3 equals 0, still in the standard form of quadratic equation. Now we will make use again of our diamond and the box method. The same as number 1, this negative 5 as the coefficient of the middle term is on the top of our diamond. The next is we will multiply 2 and negative 3, that is negative 6. Now we are now ready to look for the two factors or two numbers that the product is negative 6 and the sum is negative 5. And of course, that is negative 6 and 1. So we have here negative 6m and m. Supposedly, this is 1m. But since 1 should not be written anymore because that is imaginary, we will write now what is left in our quadratic equation. We have 2m squared and negative 3. Now, factoring out 2m squared, of course, that will give us 2m times m. So next is we divide m by m. So m divide m is, of course, 1. And after that, we will divide negative 6m by 2m. That would give us negative 3. So the factors are 2m plus 1, m minus 3. From here, 2m plus 1 and m minus 3. So for us to solve for the roots of our given quadratic equation, we just have to copy the factors, equate them to 0, and after that, we will equate both of the factors by 0, and simplifying further, that would give us m is equal to 1 half and m is equal to 3. So therefore, the roots are 1 half and 3. Let's have the third example. So since this is already in the standard form of quadratic equation, we can now use the diamond and the box method first before we can find the roots of the given quadratic equation. So the same as previous numbers, the coefficient negative 7 is on top of our diamond, and we will multiply 2 and negative 15, that gives us negative 30. So we will now look for two numbers that the product is negative 30 and the sum is negative 7. And of course, those two numbers is negative 10 and 3 because negative 10 times 3 is negative 30 and negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. So, putting what is left in the quadratic equation, we have 2x squared negative 15. Factoring out 2x squared, of course, that is x times 2x, and we divide 3x by x, that will give us 3, and negative 10x divided by 2x, of course, that's negative 5. So therefore, out of this, we will have our factors, which is 2x plus 3x minus 5. Now let us now solve the roots of the given quadratic equation, and we just have to replace the given expression in the left side of the equation by the factors, and simplifying further, we have x is equal to negative 3 over 2 and x is equal to 5. And for your practice worksheets, in solving quadratic equation by factoring, I already prepared a Google Drive link in the description box below this video. Download it and you can now practice. Of course, attached is the key answers. If you think that the video presentation helped you, please paki-thumbs up naman po at paki-share na lang din po sa iba upang ito ay kanilang mapapanood. At syempre, huwag niyo pong kalimutan mag-subscribe sa aking channel. Paki-hit na din po ng notification bell upang ma-update po kayo sa mga susunod ko pang mga session. Maraming salamat po.